Hello and welcome to On the Wrist. Today we're going to be taking a look at my Chris Ward C60 Sapphire. This is a very interesting watch that has a sapphire dial with a thin layer of blue polycarbonate to give it that interesting clear blue look. But more on that in a minute. Before we get started, a quick wristwatch check. Today I'm wearing my Casio GA2100 1A1. This is a really fun G-Shock with the octagonal shape. I have it back on the rubber strap. I took it out of the metal case I added in the modification video I put out a while ago. It's just more comfortable to wear on this strap, and I have a lot of watches on metal bracelets. A link to the review of this watch in the description as well as above. Now, back to Chris Ward. So let's go over the technical specs first, and then we'll get into some more details about the dial as well as the straps. So this is the Chris Ward C60 Sapphire, as I mentioned, and it gets its name from the fact that the dial, as well as both the front crystal and the back crystal, are sapphire crystal. And the dial, as well as the exhibition back, have a thin layer, 0.6 millimeters of polycarbonate, blue polycarbonate, to give it that interesting sapphire blue look. And what's really interesting to me is you can see the movement underneath. You can see the Stellita SW200-1, which has an accuracy of plus or minus 20 seconds a day. And I think that's just really cool. It's a much, I think, more elegantly executed skeleton design. I personally don't like a lot of the skeletonized watches. I think sometimes they're too bare, and while the movement is something interesting to look at, sometimes it's done in a way that it's just making itself skeletonized to be skeletonized. The movement isn't polished, it isn't finished. But here, having the blue polycarbonate on top of it kind of obscures it, but you can still clearly see the mechanisms. And that rich blue color on this absolutely gorgeous dial, I think, makes up for that. Or adds to that, I should say. And on the rear, the exhibition back is a huge plus. You can still see the gorgeous finishing on their rotor. But let's get the hardcore technical specs out of the way. It is 40 millimeters in diameter, an excellent size. I've come to appreciate 40 millimeters more than 42 or 44 recently. Case thickness of 12.95 millimeters, we'll call it 13. The lug-to-lug is fairly tight at 47.5 millimeters. And one thing that's kind of crazy is the water resistance of this watch is 600 meters or 60 ATMs. That is kind of crazy that it has an exhibition back and it's rated for up to 600 meters under the water. Now, I'm not doing anything other than desktop diving with this watch, but that is a very impressive feat. So with the Stellita power reserve, it has a power reserve of 38 hours. The strap width is 20 millimeters, so it fits with a very common strap size. The bezel is unidirectional, as with a lot of dive watches, which means you can only rotate it one way. This is important because if you're under the water and using this to time your dive, you don't want it to accidentally lengthen your dive, because then you could run out of oxygen. The hands and indices have Superluminova type X1 GL-C1. Really good lume. I can see it from my bed at night when it's sitting on my desk. And I want to talk now about the dial itself. So this is what really drew me to this watch. It's way more than just a blue diver. If we start on the bezel and go in, the bezel has these very nice knurling on the side to make it easy to grip. The 0 to 15 has this nice blue shading, while the rest has a machined out portion. I think that's just a nice detail. A lot of bezels are just painted on, whereas this has some applied material here and has milled out material on the rest of the bezel. Now, the dial itself just blows me away. I'm a huge fan of blue dials, but this takes the cake. This shade of blue is just stunning. Paired with the fact that it's actually sapphire crystal and it has that nice blue hint, it's just great. I think this is a really attractive watch, and the fact that I can see the movement is a huge added bonus. Going out to the seconds hand there, you can see it has the trident on the rear of the seconds hand and the orange top to the seconds marker. With, at every indice, there's one little splash of orange throughout. That paired with the 600 meters water resistance there, or 2,000 feet in orange, adds a really nice splash of color to the dial that makes it sportier than a lot of plain blue-faced watches. You'll see this more with some of the other straps, but this to me makes it a much sportier, much more fun watch to wear because it has that splash of color that breaks up the monotony of the blue. Now the top of the indices are a brush material with the sides being diamond polish facets. So you can see, like on the seconds hand there, it's very sharp. It's got a nice fine sheen to it, and it just looks very precise. Everything about this watch screams attention to detail. The indices, I love that, similar to the Formex I reviewed a while ago, the indices have raised metal section with a slot of lume in the middle, which gives it a very clean, purposeful look. The dial also has a lot of information with all of the minute tick marks as well as the date window, but it doesn't feel overcrowded. You can see here, the Christopher Ward full brand name, as well as the logo up top there. Overall, this is one of the most attractive dials that I've seen in a while, which is really why I purchased this watch. It's just very unique. I've never seen anything like it with this blue sapphire window. And like I said, I'm typically not a fan of the skeletonized designs, but this one is just so well executed. I just could not say no. Let's take a look at the exhibition back. So you can see here the Stellita movement and the custom Chris Ward rotor with their brand finishing. A picture will appear on the screen of that without the sapphire window. It does obscure it a little bit, but it is still there. And again, just a really nice touch that they include this on the back as well to really make it, sapphire through and through. It's got this screw down case back. You'll need some type of special tool to get that off, but for 600 meters water resistance, I'm not complaining. The side here, the crown has the Chris Ward logo. And I also just want to mention the interesting case shape here. So you can see it a little from the front, but this curve comes and kind of flattens out and then turns into another curve here. It's a really interesting look. Especially here you have this nice flat portion with these angle faces coming off. A very sleek and clean design that makes it an interesting case shape, but keeps it simple. So it doesn't draw the focus too much, but when you look at it, it's really high quality. Oh, let's quickly check what time it is. It looks like it's time to like and subscribe. If you like these videos, please be sure to like and subscribe. I really enjoy making them, but it's nice to know other people enjoy them and are seeing them. So it would mean a lot to me if you did that. All right, back to the video. Let's talk about the straps. So the strap I have on here is their hybrid strap. It is a rubber strap with a Cordura woven into it. So I think that is incredibly cool, and this is actually, again, one of the features that drew me to this watch, because I love rubber straps, but I love the Cordura look as well. So this is really comfortable to wear thanks to the rubber underside, and it's a really cool design with this like almost woven silicone material with the Chris Ward logo there. The strap, all their straps are quick release, which is an excellent touch, even the bracelet, which I'll show in a minute. I think it's just almost silly not to include quick release straps at this point because it makes it so nice and so quick to change out the straps. These straps come with a number of different buckle options, but this is just the plain 316L stainless steel. Really comfortable to wear, and I think this blue works very nicely with the blue dial, obviously. It's the same color as this marking here on the bezel. All right, here we have it on the blue strap. And again, really comfortable to wear because it's got the rubber side underneath. And I love that where the holes are is the rubber material, so it keeps it nice and durable, so it's not going to wear those holes out like you would on a normal Cordura strap. Comfortable, sleek to wear, and because it's rubber too, you can take it anywhere, do anything with it. Really nice pairing with this watch. Here's the blue strap outside. As a reminder, my wrist is 7¼ inches in diameter. The 40mm diameter on this watch is perfect. I've come to really appreciate that size. I think it's big enough that you can get a lot of detail, but it's not too big such that it's uncomfortable. It's always comfortable, and I think it looks perfect at 40mm in diameter. All right, here we have it on the orange and blue hybrid strap. This, to me, is incredibly sporty. I love that it plays off of the orange on the dial. Great combination. And again, this was one of the things that drew me to this watch. When I saw the photo of this watch for the first time, I was blown away by the rubber strap, the blue face, and as well as the orange accents. I love sporty looking watches with a flare of color, and this just screamed to me. So it's really fun, nice way to add some color, and it's not too in your face. It's definitely there, but it pairs so nicely with the watch itself. It's a very cohesive look. Let's check it out outside. Blue and orange hybrid strap. Here it's on the peccary brown leather strap. This is a little reminiscent of a rally style strap with a whole pattern, but you can see some nice attention to detail there with the white stitching along the side. I'm a big sucker for blue watches on brown straps, and this is a strap that this lives on mostly because it's casual, but it can also be formal, it's comfortable, and it's just a really good look. One thing to note about their leather straps is this strap is incredibly tough. And by that, I mean, it's taken quite a while to get it to sort of form into the shape of my wrist. I've had to have it attached to the pillow with this in the watch box for quite a while before it got any bend in it. So it's very stiff leather, which is neither a good nor a bad thing, but just something to be aware of. It takes a while to break in. Let's check it out outside. Brown leather, out in the sun. And here we have it on the Chris Ward bracelet. As far as bracelets go, I'm incredibly impressed with this one. With the 20mm width, this is incredibly comfortable. There's a lot of adjustment, which I'll show in a minute. And I just love that it's a narrower bracelet, so it's not as big, not as clunky, and it fits perfectly. I love that with the angled lug, or the rounded lugs there to match the profile of the watch. Very comfortable bracelet. Let's see it in the sunlight. Stainless bracelet, really comfortable. Sits quite nicely on the wrist. Before we move on, I want to highlight a couple things about this bracelet as well. It does have quick release spring bars built into it, which, just like the Formex I reviewed before, link in the description below, this is an incredibly useful feature. So all of the straps you've seen here have quick release spring bars. So it's really easy to change out the straps, and especially for a bracelet, it's a nice touch because it kind of is a pain sometimes to break out all the tools and tear it apart that way. I also want to show that the clasp, really solid clasps, nice to take off, but underneath here, you have this slot that if you pull, you can change the position of this within the watch. Within the strap, within the bracelet. And this is a micro adjustment. So if you press it in, you can change where this position is, and you can make it wider or narrower. So you have really some good micro adjustment within the bracelet itself, so you're guaranteed to get that perfect fit. Incredibly nice touch, very well done, and something I would highly recommend getting if you're getting this watch. A note on price: this bracelet, if you were to buy it aftermarket, is $190 US, which is kind of staggering for a bracelet. If you buy it with the watch, it's typically cheaper to buy the watch with the bracelet as the main option and then buy another strap as a secondary. So just a quick note on that. Some other things to know about Chris Ward. They're based out of the UK, and they have what's called a 60/60 guarantee. The 60/60 guarantee is that within 60 days of a purchase, you can get a full refund, no questions asked. There's also a 60-month mechanical warranty attached to each movement, which is a nice additional feature. A caveat to that, though, is it says it must be serviced by Chris Ward in the 3 to 4 year mark. So it's kind of more like a 3-year unconditional mechanical warranty, but if you want the full 5 years, you will have to get your watch serviced by Chris Ward, which is a bit of a caveat. I think the 60/60 is kind of a nice marketing thing to say. So it's really more of like, 60/36 warranty. But either way, I did have one warranty experience with them already. And that was, I purchased this hybrid strap after I got this watch. And when it came, you can see here, there's no large ball here on the quick release strap. So to actually remove this strap, I do need a tool because there's no way to push it aside like there is over here with that large ball. Within 1 day of sending the customer service request, they had told me that it was totally unacceptable for them that this type of quality went through their system. So they said, we will send you another strap of your choice free of charge. Whether they said you can get another one of this, or they'll send me a different strap and I can keep this one free of charge. And that's actually how I ended up with this brown strap here, because I figured, I can change this with a tool, but it would be nice to have a nice brown leather strap in addition. So I was really impressed with the Chris Ward customer service. And while it was unfortunate to get this, where now I have to remove it with a tool, it was really great to get a new strap and have no worries that if I have any issues in the further, Chris Ward will be able to take care of me without any hassle. MSRP of this watch is $910 US on the blue and orange hybrid straps, and it is $1,030 on the bracelet. Now, I purchased this watch secondhand off the Watch You Seek forum. I would highly recommend looking into these watches secondhand. Christopher Ward is becoming much more popular, and I got this watch basically new in box, unworn. It still had stickers on it. The person had bought it and just never really wore it. They bought it in April of this year, and I purchased it in November. So I got a tremendous discount because someone else had purchased it first. It actually came with the bracelet as well as the blue strap for 40% off MSRP, or 30% off MSRP. So that was a really great find. These watches, you can find them online, pre-owned. I'd highly recommend it. There are some caveats to buying online. See my 6 Things I Learned video where I talk about this in more detail. But even if you buy this new, this still seems like a very unique watch, and it's got a competitive price for the features it offers with other watches in that price category. I think this stands up quite nicely next to the Formex, which is more expensive than this. This also competes with some other things in that price bracket. So I think it's competitively priced for what it is, and there's definitely some options to get it cheaper secondhand online. In closing, this is a watch I've been very excited to wear lately. I really enjoy the orange accents. I think it gives this watch a lot more depth when you wear it. The polycarbonate backing to the sapphire dial is really interesting and makes it so the more you look at this watch, the more detail you see. It's something that from far away you might not notice all the details, but up close this watch is a knockout. I think it is priced competitively with other watches in this category, as well as there's a good secondhand market for them where they do pop up and they sell kind of quickly, but you can find one if you're looking for, over the time period of maybe a month. The fact that all the straps, including the bracelet, have quick release spring bars is an incredible draw for me. And the micro adjustment bracelet is also a very well done and important feature to have. So overall, I'd recommend this watch. That's why I purchased this watch. And I hope you found this video informative If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. I'd love to talk to you about this watch, answer any questions. Thank you for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe if you like this content. I enjoy making these videos, but I would love to know that you like them too. It also helps me steer the kind of content I make when I see the amount of likes or views certain videos get. So please be sure to leave feedback. It would be much appreciated. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.